You know what drives me crazy? The freaking Cutler Protocol people. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
went to Health Optimization Summit in London, and Tim Gray, who was a ex-Cutler guy, because the Cutler supposition is you got to feel like absolute garbage for at least 2 years before you get better. And if not, Chris Shade is murdering. What do you mean murdering? So Tim Gray calls up some of the Cutler groups and says, hey, come to Health Optimization Summit. All the best biohackers in the world. And they go, no, we're boycotting that because you've got a murderer. He goes, what? Chris Shade is coming. He's a murderer. I'm a murderer because I have people use 16 milligrams of lipoic acid. Because lipoic acid kills people if you don't do it every 4 hours. What is going on in your world? It's just crazy. And they don't even know their own things. And Cutler's dead. And I tried to explain it to him over the years, but he doesn't want to hear anything. And they get this crazy cult where unless you
Very cultish.
totally cultish, and he was the angry drunk father, and he's going to yell at you and he's going to cast you out of the family unless you take on the bile of the family and puts the family feud against everybody else. And he was vicious. And so all he got were these traumatized father figure types that followed him in this cult. And they just repeated all this thing. And so his thing is this half-lives. You have to dose every half-life of the compound, or you're going to redistribute metals. Now, for DMSA, he has a point. It goes 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 in the blood, and in a couple hours, it's gone. So it starts redistributing, and you're breaking it down, and soon it's not holding it onto it anymore. They don't form chelates. They're not awesome bonds, and you're peeing stuff out. DMSA is not really that good anyway. So you should do this because the binding capacity goes up like that and then down like that, and it's dropping things down here. So with your half-lives, you're doing this. You're staying up there and then you stop. With lipoic acid, they're always like, it's a chelator and it goes in your brain and chelates and pulls it out of your brain and then you're redistributing. Lipoic acid is an NRF2 upregulator and it turns up your glutathione system. And it doesn't go from 0 to 100. It's taking, maybe you're running like 70. It takes you 70 to 90, 70 to 90, 70 to 90. It's always there. It never goes to 0. So this half-life thing isn't what it was in this Cutler thing. And in the Cutler thing, it was really only because of the DMSA. Now, when you take lipoic acid on its own, you do mobilize, but that's through the glutathione system. And so you do have this movement out. And if you don't have any liver support, if you don't have any binding, and your kidneys are all blocked up, you will experience this, but not because it went and chelated and then let go of it. It's because it squeezes the system to get it out of the cells. In fact, that's how it works in the Cutler system, that it squeezes to get it out into the blood, and then the DMSA takes it and you pee it out. But in our system, it squeezes into the blood, but we're using the liver GI and binding transport to get everything out. They don't even understand how their own system works, and that makes me a murderer. I loved your eyes there when I told you the murderer story. You're like, I knew they were crazy. It's all.
I feel very vindicated.
I love the Shade. Anybody who doesn't what they do is evil. So have you been attacked by them too?
Yeah, no comment.
Oh man,
I just say
you might poke the beasts.
I think that there's some very ill people in that community, and
It was the thing with Tim Gray, like
they're making them sick,
dragging along, and this stuff almost killed me. And why? Probably because I didn't wake up at 3 a.m. and take that one dose, right? No, it almost killed me because it can kill you. And then I made IMD. It fixed me. It fixed me in a couple of weeks. I went from just a pile of dung to, oh my God, I feel freaking great. So Tim Gray is on this 2-year drain, and they actually have this graph where you'll go down and feel worse than you were for 50 cycles of chelation before you start.
That is not okay.
No. And so he's just draining through this, and he's like, maybe I should try Chris Shade's IMD. And then what? Oh my God, I feel better. We can get you feeling better in no time. There was a woman who was just one of our practitioners was just giving us that feedback. And this isn't the cell core system. The cell core system doesn't make you bad. It just takes forever. And she's like, I can do it a month with yours, what takes 10 months with theirs. And that's just a slow system. But the Cutler system, you go down. And it's like, there's no need for that.